Hello students, this video is in continuation with my previous video on order sphagnales. And in this video, I am going to share with you detailed character of order sphagnales. Students, the member of sphagnales commonly called as bog mosses or peat mosses because they produce peat. Bog is widely drained permanently wetland with high rainfall and peat is partially decomposed plant material. As sphagnales are found in the boggy habitat, so they are known as bog mosses and they yield peat, that's why we call them peat mosses. They are common in upland and waste area of temperate region with poor drainage. Next is distribution and habitat. Students, the most prominent genus of sphagnale is Sphagnum and it is called as bog moss. It is also called as tuft moss because of the presence of two types of branches which appear in a tuft. It is cosmopolitan, that is present in north and south tropics through temperate region extend to subtropical and subantarctic regions. It forms dense masses in pond lakes which contain little amount of lime. In cooler climate, it dominates the vegetation. Students, near about 350 species of peat moss or sphagnum are identified and 20 are present in India. You can see here habitat of sphagnum. Sphagnum grows in water with pH range from 3.7 to 4.8, means it grows in acidic habitat. It performs ionic exchange and leads to accumulation of hydrogen ion in habitat, which favors its growth but inhibit the growth of other plants. That's why we will find mats of the sphagnum over the habitat. The size of sphagnum varies from few inches to 7 inches. It is a perennial moss. Older parts die regularly and in combination with the remains of other surrounding plants, it forms a compact mass called as peat. Peat have high commercial value and utilized as a fertilizer. Students, you can see here the mat of the sphagnum present on the different habitat. Next is mature gametophyte. The mature gametophyte in sphagnum is erect, branched and well differentiated into stem and leaves. The cortex of the mature stem is composed of dead empty cells with large oral pores on their wall. These dead cells absorb water. Rhizoids are colorless, survive for a short time. It is usually present in the protonema. Apex possesses number of densely crowded short branches called comma or tuft. Posterior branches arise in tufts in axil of the every fourth leaf. Each tuft is 3 to 8 branched. Students, here you can see rhizoids and upper leafy gametophore, which finally give rise to gametophyte of sphagnum. You can see that gametophyte is thallus-like which resemble with the liverwort. The plant exhibit two type of branches, divergent branches which are short, stout and project outward or upward. They provide the plant structure. Second one is drooping or pendant or flagelliform branches. These hang downward, close and surround the stem. These are absent in submerged form and aid in capillary movement. So you can see here drooping branches as well as divergent branches. Students' leaves have a characteristic single layered cell net with alternating large dead haline cells and photosynthetic chlorophyllose cells. Haline cell absorb and store water. So you can see here single leaf, then you can see net of the chlorophyllous and haline cells. Chlorophyllous cells are responsible for the photosynthesis while the haline cells store water. Sometimes one branch in tuft grow and develop into an apical cluster of branches on the main stem. This is called innovation, as you can see in this image. So it is a cluster of branches which arises at the apex of the plant. Sometimes one branch in tuft grows and develop into an apical cluster of branches known as innovation on the main stem. When separate from the main plant, it grows into an independent plant. Sometimes one branch in tuft grows and develops into an apical cluster of branches on the main stem. This is called innovations. When innovations separate from main plant, they grow into an independent plant. Thus, they help in vegetative propagation. Exceptional feature of sphagnum is absence of midrib. So students, you can see at the above, there is cluster of branches which is called as innovations. Next is reproduction. In sphagnum, both vegetative and sexual reproduction takes place. Vegetative reproduction takes place by innovations or protonema. Innovations, as I explained to you earlier, are the group of branches at the apex of main stem from which detach from the main plant and grow into new plant. In sphagnum, vegetative reproduction also takes place by protonema, where some of the plants multiply by primary protonema. Few thalloid cells of the primary protonema become meristematic and form multicellular filament. This develops into a thallus-like flat secondary protonema, which give rise to main gametophyte. Next is sexual reproduction. Both monoecious and dioecious species are present in sphagnum. Antheridia develop on the antheridial or main branch, while the archegonia develop on the archegonial or female branch. So you can see here both antheridial and archegonial branches on the mature plant. Antheridial or male branches are catkin-like in structure. They are arranged spirally or in straight row on the main axis. They possess many small colored branches which are yellow, brown or reddish, which surround the antheridium. They develop at axil of the leaf. Antheridial branches develop antheridium acropatally, that is, older at the base and younger at the apex. So you can see each antheridium is surrounded by the bracket-like branch and it has stalk and body. And these are produced in acropetal order, that is, older at the base and younger at the apex. If we talk about the mature antheridium, it is long stalk with globular body. Stalk is with 2 to 4 rows of the cell. Single layered strial jacket encloses androcyte cells. Androcyte metamorphoses into biflagellate, unicellular, uninucleate anthrazoid, as you can see in this image. Mature antheridium dehisces by several irregular lobes or valves at the apex. Whenever they mature, they dehisce and swim to the archegonia. Next is archegonial branches. These are shorter than the antheridial branches, bud-like structure bearing single or 2 to 5 archegonia are surrounded by a bract. Bracts are green, larger than of vegetative branches. These are called as perichaetum and their main function is the protection. Primary archegonium develop from the apical cells, while secondary archegonia develop from derivative of the apical cell. So students, you can see here cluster of archegonia appear and they are surrounded by the bract or the perichaetum. Mature archegonium is long stalked, twisted with twisted neck and massive venter, as you can see in this image. Neck jacket are 2 to 3 cells thick in base and middle parts. There are 8 or more cover cells at the apical part. Neck cavity is with 8 to 10 neck canal cell. Venter is with single venter canal cell and an egg. So you can see these are the structure associated with the female branch or the archegonium. Next is mature sporophyte. After fertilization, that is fusion of the egg and spermatozoid, there is formation of zygote. Zygote undergo various periclinal and anticlinal division and will produce 3 types of cells, that is epithecium, amphithecium and endothecium. Endothecium will form columella, epithecium will form outer protective layer like operculum, calyptra and amphithecia will give rise to spore sac. Mature sporophyte contain foot, seta and capsule. As you can see in this image, the foot is bulbous, seta is constricted and capsule. Foot is parenchymatous, valvous or cylindrical body. It is hustorial in function, means it uptake its nutrients from the gametophyte. Seta is ill-developed, means not properly developed and rudimentary type. It is conspicuous and has very narrow structure. Capsule is well developed, quite conspicuous and spherical, dark brown or black colored. It has 2 to 7 layered wall. Outer layer is epidermis with several non-functional stomata. So students, these are the structure associated with the capsule, that is calyptra, operculum, annulus, that is a thin layer and help to detach the operculum for the dispersal of the spore. There is jacket for the protection of spore, spore sac where spore develop and columella. So students, capsule wall is with chloroplast and operculum atypical part of the capsule is a circular biconvex disc shaped structure as you can see in this image. Annulus is circular globe of thin walled cells which separate the operculum from capsule and facilitate the spore dispersal. Columella is the central part of the capsule made up of sterile cells. Dome-shaped arc of fertile sporogenous tissue is present over the columella. Calyptra and pericytum surround the sporophyte in young condition. At maturity, axis of the archegonial branch elongate and capsule comes out of calyptra and pericytum. The leafless elongated axis of the archegonial branch at the base of sporophyte is called as pseudopodium. So students, pseudopodium is the gametophytic structure which perform the function of the setae. It is mainly a post-fertilization development. A sac-like structure from the distal end of pseudopodium and basal part of the calyptra is known as vaginula. Foot remain embedded in this vaginula. So students, you can see here pseudopodium and vaginula where foot remain embedded. Next is descent of capsule. Capsule dices by air gun mechanism. Due to heat of sunny day, columella and the capsule wall become dry and get shriveled. It develops air space under the spore sac. Capsule changes its shape from spherical to cylindrical as you can see in this image. As the capsule dries, it shrinks, compressing the air inside. A pressure also develops inside the capsule. Due to this, operculum breaks off the annulus with the popping noise, as you can see in this image. Due to pressure, the operculum gets shriveled off from the capsule. Due to compression of the air, operculum separate from the capsule through the annulus. Spore sac ruptures and the spores are blown to a height of several centimeters and germinate to protonema. So students, you can see in this image, spores are liberated, then they find suitable habitat for their growth and undergo various division and finally develop into protonema. Rhizoids are formed in the protonema for the uptake of nutrients. This protonema then gives rise to mature plant and the life cycle is completed here. Students, main point which you need to recall from this topic are: what are innovations? What are the pendant and divergent branches? What is the spore dispersal mechanism in sphagnum, etc. So students, that's all about this video. I hope you understood the topic. Thank you for listening.